which is rare in our part of the world. In Nepal, we are the 28th council, but there's only one council member so far. And so whenever I meet the women members, they always say, when will we be there? So I'll say, I will now have one example to refer to them. Okay, there's a success story in Sri Lanka. Ghulam Mustafa Kazi Saab, he is also the immediate past president of the Institute of Cost and Management Accountant of Pakistan. Same with him, myself and he was in committees of SAFA, and he's also a very experienced person and will be an asset to this panel. Niz Muhammad Saab, yeah. So nice meeting you. Yesterday we went to ICAP, but you were not there. Yeah, so he's a council member, a senior personnel, and then so this is what we have. He's also an FCA. He's a council member of CA Bangladesh. We went there yesterday, and he was not there. Maybe he was busy somewhere, or he was here doing some whatever required that he did. So this is the introduction. We'll go, and I should mention that initially Mr. Charanjot Singh Nanda, president of ICAI, was supposed to be actually moderating this session, but because of certain reasons he could not come, and then I'm replacing him. So I should also mention his name, because in the program that was shared to all of you, his name was there. So now I will go to the main person who is the technical paper presenter for this session, Sabir Ahmed Saab. He's an FCA, and then he's been to many parts of the world, worked in many developed world, and has come back into here in Bangladesh and is in practice for more than a decade or so. And my experience with him is just the same with other person. Have been in the panel and committee meetings with him on many occasions. I will hand this floor to Sabir Ahmed Saab for his presentation, and once it is done, then we'll start the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Session Chair, for your kind words about me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute privilege and honor to stand before you and present a topic which is, I'm sure, to many of us very close to our heart. Before going to my session, and it is called one of the dreaded session, because I am standing between you and a very colorful valedictory session that's gonna happening as a last session. And you had wonderful lunch, tea break, and now it's a time for afternoon siesta on Saturday where you are forced to keep awake. So I will try to do justice to the injustice done to you. Before starting, let me ask a quiz. How many of you heard about a book named The Reckoning? This is the title of the book, The Reckoning, by Jacob Soll. No? Okay. Last night when the respected IFAC president was visiting ICAB, we were talking about all the issues that France faced during the last millennium or before that, at the time of Napoleon and Louis XIV, XV. One of those was accounting issues. And Jacob Soll, on his book, has mentioned from Renaissance Italy, the Spanish Empire, Louis XIV's France, to the Dutch Republic, the British Empire, and the early United States. Effective accounting and political accountability have been the difference between a society's rise and fall. Now, standing in this millennium, it's not only accounting, it's other matters also contribute to the rise and fall of a nation or a country. Think about climate change. Many of us heard that a significant part of Maldives, unfortunately no one from Maldives is present, our latest SAFA member, will be wiped out. A country, Tuvalu in South Pacific, will be virtually gone from the map of the world because of the climate change, rising water. Practices that destroy environment, like deforestation, mining practices that, many of you heard about the Red Diamond, a very famous movie about the mining practices, what happened in Africa or South America. There is a proverb called resource curse. I don't know whether you heard about it. Many countries, like in South America, Venezuela, a classic example, now for obviously wrong reason, but this is also resource curse. Not able to manage resources properly. Labor practices. So all those things also contributed to the rise or fall of a nation. And that is why the society's expectation is not confined only to the accountings, only to the number. They want to look beyond that. And that's why all this sustainability came in. So, this will be the topic of this afternoon's session. First, we will touch a journey of sustainability reporting, and then on the assurance part of it. So if I look at the timeline, 1990s where really it kicked off through the adoption of Kyoto Protocol in Japan in 1997, although it became effective later in 2004 or 5, but that set the tone of the global community's expectation of sustainability reporting. And at the same time, in 1997, GRI was formed in Netherlands as a not-profit organization supporting sustainability reporting. But much before that, there was self-reporting, voluntary reporting of various sustainability-related issues. Then a new millennium came in 2000, and then this sustainability got even a stronger voice. United Nations has adopted Millennium Development Goal. Demand for climate action took strong prominence. Investors started to demand for responsible investment. Many parts of the world, carbon trading, emission control became regulatory directives. And then the whole new area of ESG reporting emerged. Then came global financial crisis, 2009, and after that another chapter started. UN has updated Millennium Development Goal to SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. Financial Stability Board has formed a task force, TCFD, particularly on climate-related disclosure. ESG reporting got further momentum. And many jurisdictions, the regulators has issued directives for ESG reporting. At that time, in a limited form, assurance on sustainability reporting or ESG reporting also started to kick in. However, mostly those era, the reporting was self-reporting. Assurance was in limited form. Then COVID came, and then we were staring in a whole new world. After COVID, a very significant global event took place in Glasgow in the form of COP26, where most of the countries in the world get together and adopted certain climate-related action plan. And that has accelerated ESG or sustainability-related reporting. And then, for assurance services, there was no dedicated assurance standards. And that's why practitioners used to follow multiple type of assurance framework, like ISAE 3000, ISAE 3410, greenhouse gas emission. And another issue came into prominence, that is greenwashing. That is greenwashing. People used to beg falsified claim on their achieving sustainability or ESG target. And that's why global community got together and a very strong initiative took place in the formation of ISSB, International Sustainable Standards Board, under the IFRS Foundation. And we all know by now, they have issued S1, S2. Simultaneously, the growing demand also came for the assurance-related standards, because this is an area where the role of professional accountant is very important, but at the same time, people from other disciplines also need to get involved. And that's why IASB took a project on assurance. And finally, late 2024, ISSA 5000 was issued. That is assurance on sustainability reporting. And today's discussion will be focusing on ISSA 5000. So, as an assurance practitioner, when we are issuing any opinion on sustainability related matter, what are the things that we need to consider? For example, we need to look at, when we call sustainability information, it would be environmental, it could be environmental, social, economic, cultural. Like environmental, it could be climate, biodiversity. For social, it could be labor practices. For economic, it could be responsible sourcing. You know, these days many chocolates have the cocoa produced from sustainable procurement. Bangladesh being the hub of the global RMG, so is Sri Lanka and Pakistan. All our major buyers have this directive, sustainable labor practices. So all this could be an area of sustainability reporting and assurance. Coverage could be an entity's activities, its products, its services. Like, for example, Cadbury. They may say that the cocoa collected, sourced, are subject to sustainability related requirements. It could be a focus on policy of an entity, its performance, plans, goals, governance. And how these sustainability related matters could impact its risks, opportunities, various metrics, and KPIs. Very important, there should not be any vagueness on sustainability reporting. It must be relevant, it should be complete, reliable, neutral, and understandable. Something that if people don't understand, there will be problem. Sorry, I'm still learning how to navigate back or forward, so that's why I keep going. I will not start from fresh, don't worry. Okay, so as I said, the focus of this presentation is ISSA 5000, and sustainability related assurance process is similar to financial assurance process. We need to determine as a practitioner whether the client acceptance is right, whether the engagement acceptance is right, whether the terms and condition of assurance engagement is right. That's why we need to consider ethics, independent, competency, very important. Are we competent to provide the service? Expert involvement. If any external or internal expert is involved, how to, and invariably such engagement, you will need external expert. For example, how to calculate various emission. What would be the environmental footprint? How much of the renewable energy mix we are using? All those things require non-financial expert. So these matters need to be considered in an assurance engagement. Quality management, very important. Like financial audit or assurance, we have ISQM 1. Here also, they require ISQM 1 or equally demanding quality management at firm level as well as engagement level. Just quickly on the procedures of sustainability assurance, it's similar to financial audit. Planning, planned activities, we have to do what type of activities required for assurance process. Materiality consideration, both qualitative aspect and quantitative aspect. And for quantitative aspect, like the financial audit, performance materiality need to be considered. A very important factor is, many of you might heard double materiality in sustainability reporting. For S1, S2, there is no requirement to consider double materiality. It's just the financial impact on the company or on the entity. However, under EU CSRD guideline, double materiality need to consider. That means, what is the impact of the what is the financial matter and what is the impact of the company on the company. Risk assessment process, similar to other assurance engagement. We need to understand the entity, its environment, legal and regulation under which it operates, and its reporting process of sustainability related information. Control environment. That is why we are very glad that IFAC President is here. For sustainability assurance, professional accountants are best suited. There has been demand for the other professionals like engineers, others to involve, but financial accountants are the best placed for this work because they go through very robust process like internal control assessment. Auditors, for example, very familiar for their financial audit. So similar process they can replicate for their sustainability audit or assurance. So we need to consider internal control, design and implementation of the control, and information system, getting the sustainability related information. Internal control will have activities, monitoring, and if any weakness is identified in the internal control system relating to sustainability information, the assurance provider or practitioner need to mention that in their report. Other consideration like criteria, very important. Under what criteria that reporting is done, whether it is IFRS S1, S2, or GRI, or whatever. Suitable criteria is very important. Fraud and non-compliance with loss regulation, similar to the financial matter, on sustainability related matter if there is any indication. For example, many companies could have green financing. So, in order to achieve the target or to receive that funding, they may manipulate certain sustainability related information. So this is a fraudulent reporting, need to be considered. Communication with management and those charged with governance, evidence and documentation to support the work we are doing. Many times such sustainability related information will have estimates and forward looking statement. Assurance provider or practitioner need to be very careful to apply their judgment to review this process. Subsequent event could apply here as well. Very importantly, when we will provide such assurance services, we must obtain written representation from management or those charged with governance. other information if accompanying the sustainability information we need to mention in our report, whether we have checked those or those are under our conclusion or not. Finally, like financial audit, our sustainability related assurance report can be modified as well. Qualified, adverse or disclaimer of opinion. So what would be the framework of our reporting? What we would report in a sustainability assurance engagement? Title, it will be independent practitioners report, whether it's a limited assurance or it's a reasonable assurance or combination of both. Addressee, to whom we are addressing? To its board, to management, to third party, to shareholder, that need to be done. Conclusion heading, whether it's an unmodified opinion or modified opinion, whether qualified, adverse, disclaimer, as I mentioned earlier. What is the name of the entity who is preparing this level of assurance that we are giving? Sustainability information that will be subject to the assurance process and the date or the period covered. Our conclusion. Conclusion could be in a positive form, that is reasonable assurance, like we normally provide in an audit engagement, or it could be limited assurance in a negative form that we provide normally in a review engagement. Positive, that reflect true and fair view. Negative is nothing identified that may indicate misstatement. Practitioner's responsibility. As assurance provider, what is our responsibility? Equally, what is the responsibility of the management? And finally, location of the report where we are signing, date, and our signature. Last bit, like any other matter, ethics is paramount. For financial audit, as we need to observe ethical procedures, no exception on sustainability-related assurance. We have to comply with ISBA framework. That is professional competency and due care, integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional behavior, and most importantly, our independence. We should not compromise. If there is a conflict, we need to consider that, whether it's a self-interest threat, whether it's a self-review threat, whether it's advocacy threat, whether familiarity threat or intimidation threat. We need to, most of all are chartered accountants here, we know perfectly well what ISBA Code of Ethics required, what ICAB bylaws required, for other institutes what their respective bylaws required. We need to follow the same for sustainability assurance engagement. So, this is a journey. And this journey we want to make together. Especially a forum like this, where the regional representation is there, global representation, none other than IFAC are here. We need to take a collaborative approach, learn from each other, share our experience, and move forward. There are a lot of guidance available. I would urge each one of you to visit IASB website, where there is a lot of information available on sustainability related assurance. We can prepare ourselves. In Bangladesh, it's gradually taking momentum. So as a chartered accountant, we could be the leader on this front, like in many other parts of the world. So we will request our fellow members to equip themselves, find them all the necessary tools, and lead from the front. That brings us closer to my presentation. Thank you once again for listening to me. Sorry, just.
Thank you, Sabir Ahmed Saab, for a very nice presentation. You have like summarized everything very nicely. Now we'll go into our panel discussion. But before I go into panel discussion, because we're talking about assurance, I will, just like as his first slide was, I will ask you about Jen Jensen from New Zealand. Have you heard the news about Jen Jensen of New Zealand and North Face jackets? In 2023, this is a small story actually. In 2023, she is from New Zealand. She went to Hooker Valley, which is a trail in New Zealand, which is one of the best trails in New Zealand. And she was wearing a North Face jacket, and then it rained, and she got shocked. Though it was like written that it was waterproof, but it was not actually, and she was like wet. So she posted a social media video and asked North Face to actually replace it. And I am at this whatever lake place. You need to do it now, otherwise I will just defame you, whatever. So you know what North Face did? North Face sent from Europe somewhere. They brought a helicopter, went to New Zealand, airline, and then went to New Zealand, and then gave her the jacket, and that video was posted. So and the news was given that, look, what the company can do to preserve their branding. But if you follow that news, you'll realize that there are other doubters as well, which say that it was all planted, the story was all designed, and the person who was actually making the allegation was paid, an actress. So the thing is, if this was the news, assurance business comes. If there was an independent assurance, IFAC member, POs, member like us, and if we are certified, assured that the report, whatever social media report that was there, was actually the story, then you'd say, wow, North Face. If there was no report, there are doubters. And there are somebody who says, okay, yeah, great, look, North Face, they have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to ensure that their brand value is not failed. So this story actually, I was thinking, as you know, I was given the opportunity to chair this session at the very last moment, so I just wanted to tell this story, and this was a chance given to me by my SAFA president. Thank you for that. Now I go into the question session, you see. We have not many time, so my first question would go to Farooq Saab, who is sitting on my left. And then the questions for each of our members would be pertaining to their own countries. So in Pakistani context, Farooq Saab, what do you see is the most significant barrier for this implementation of widespread adoption of ISSA 5000? And how can the profession address it? What are the challenges and how you think profession can address it?
Thank you, Praveen. First of all, let me thank the Institute of Chartered Accountant of Bangladesh for giving us such warm hospitality. Thank you very much, Mubin Bhai. And of course, many congratulations to Mayur Bhai for assuming the SAFA leadership role. So to answer your question, the way I see it, and this is also based on my interaction with other jurisdictions, I think Shabir Bhai also specifically mentioned about the competence of the people who are going to give the assurance. So this is a new subject for all of us, not only in this part of the region, of the world, but also in other developed jurisdictions as well. So this is new for everyone. So unless we have taken the required skill and knowledge on the subject, how can we give the assurance? So to me, the biggest challenge for a country like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and other SAFA countries, and of course in other jurisdictions, is the real knowledge of the subject. So I was asked to represent or make a presentation in Organization of Islamic Countries Sustainability Group, along with our corporate regulator. Turkey was there and Malaysia made the presentation. And this question came there as well, that are the professional accounting organizations and the auditors, are they really equipped to give that kind of assurance, because this is a technical subject? And I learned there that Turkey, they have made it mandatory that whosoever, either from the preparer's side or who is going to give the assurance, they have to pass an examination, a formal examination. So they have conducted the first examination, and they were giving the stats, if I remember it correctly, I think more than 4,000 people, and like senior partners of the firms, including the larger network firms, they appeared, and only 342 passed. So they were only became eligible to be part of the sustainability whole process. One of my counterpart firm in Turkey, there the risk management partner, he said, I failed. So the competence part, I feel, is going to be the biggest challenge. So now how we are addressing it. We also discussed in our council as well. One way is to go and take the route which the Turkey has taken to have a formal examination for everyone. My personal view had been that this is too onerous. I think somebody at my age, your age, has to take the examination and coming out failed. I think this is not going to be the right approach. This is disproportional. So we already understand the concept, this standard, because we are already auditors. We understand these standards. So our approach in Pakistan that we are taking is to have developed e-learn. We have developed 12 modules that's in e-learn so that you can do at your comfort, at your time, sitting in your office, at home, or wherever. So you will complete those 12 modules. Each module is structured like, first, there is a lecture of about 10 minutes, which sets the scene about that very subject. So if we are talking about acceptance, then it talks about the a briefing on the acceptance. Then there are attached the reference material. So you read that material. After that, you will be taken to an assessment. So for that assessment, there are at least 20 questions or 25 questions that you can take multiple times, but you have to pass 90%. So that is how we have conceived it. So then everyone, whether they are a student or a partner or doing something in the industry, they can get the required knowledge of the subject. And once this will start rolling out, we intend to have this made mandatory so that whoever goes subsequently to give the sustainability assurance, they will be properly equipped to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Farooq Sahab. Thank you, Farooq Sahab. Now I'll go to Madam Anozi De Silva. We understand that Sri Lanka is proactive in sustainability reporting. You tend to roll out the things more faster than some of us. How prepared are Lankan practitioners, as per you, for this? Though standard yet to come actually is December 15 in his presentation, and the date was mentioned as December 15, 2026. So how prepared are the practitioners, how we are talking about it, and what are the gaps that you see is there?
So first, let me thank CA Bangladesh for your hospitality and also for inviting me to be a panelist here. And also congratulations and best wishes to my good friend, Mr. Humayun Kabir, on accepting the SAFA presidency. If you think of this standard, in my opinion, we are facing a situation that as assurance practitioners, we are not familiar with. Because I think all our minds are very tired. I'll use a simple analogy to explain this. If you look at IFRS standards, we studied the standard, we practice the standard, and we are the undisputed experts of the standard. So to be accountants or assurance providers in IFRS related work, nobody disputes us. So we are like the superheroes of the financial reporting standards. But now what has happened is we have been presented the sustainability standards, and we don't really, I don't think any of us are comfortable with it, because there are a lot of areas in it for me to give assurance report that I don't really understand. And to make it like kind of more complicated, now the standard setter also has allowed non-practicing accountants also, so long as they can prove the strict ethical quality management requirements, to give the assurance report. And I think like Mr. Khan put it very, very well this morning, this is a situation where unless our profession takes control, we are going to lose this service line. Because you're talking about engineers, IT professionals who are very smart. It's not going to take them very long time to figure out how to do assurance. So in my opinion, I think we need to be smart at this stage. Like earlier, if you see, when we were small, we had individual superheroes. But now you have Avengers, which is a team of superheroes. So I think it's our profession need to now be smart without just saying, okay, only we can do this, nobody else has the capability. We need to now come up with, each of our POs need to come up with a sustainable model where we can get all these specialists also involved in our teams, but still keep the leadership of the assurance with us. Because if you see, the quality management and ethical standards are our strongest point. It's not the strong point of the other profession. So that's where we need to ride and we need to do. So based on that, what we felt at CA was, we felt we have to own this space. That we cannot allow somebody else to come in and own the thing. So we actually used five-step approach. The first was we claimed ownership of the sustainability reporting and assurance standard, because CA Sri Lanka has a mandate to issue financial reporting standards. So we claimed the right, and we also said we are the people who are issuing sustainable reporting standards. And then we also position CA as experts in sustainability reporting. We are doing a lot of work. We are also doing skill building on S1, S2, and we are collaborating to work together with the other sustainable organizations, plus also our syllabus, which we just launched. We actually embedded sustainable reporting and AI into our syllabus. If I talk a little bit about how did we on the standard adoption, we did a very detailed and practical approach to adopting this standard. Now in Sri Lanka, we have 3 boards. We have the main board, then we have the second board, and we have SME board. So we've come up with a plan to say, and we work with the stock exchange, so they are also now looking at us as the champion of this standard. First 100 listed entities based on market cap has to adopt it by December 25. Then the second, then all listed entities in the main board by 1st January 26 it's applicable. So like that we went on a staggered approach where all the first board, second board by 1st January 27 they have to adopt it. And even the other companies, so by 2030 we have an approach for everyone to adopt it. Yes.
Thank you. So one point she mentioned was we need to be smart because we are competing with somebody who is smarter. So my next question goes to Ghulam Mustafa Kaji Saab. You are a leader of management accounting. How do you see the role of management accountants evolving in this scenario of sustainability reporting?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bangladesh, for wonderful hospitality. In today's event, the special thing is that the regulators, the policy makers are also among us, and it's a good thing for all of us. Both SAFA as well as the IFAC leadership is here. Coming back to your question, the traditional role of accountants, professional accountants, has changed in the recent years from financial reporting, financial analysis, etc., to reporting on sustainability, ESGs, and a lot more. The first thing is that the knowledge, we have devised the new curriculum where the ESGs, AI, blockchain, and such technology has been made part of the core curriculum. And if we look at the evolving role of many accountants in the years to come, and that is it's a switch over from merely cost controllers to sustainability, performance enablers, power drivers, and assurance enablers and providers. The management accountants, they make sure that the internal controls are in place and the sustainability data is not only available, but it is accurate, it is reliable, as well as it is auditable. So the emerging role of management accountants would be beyond the traditional role. And I can see that the time factor is very important. We have already gone late. Otherwise, I would have explained in detail the factors where the management accountant would do much more than what it is currently doing. Like in terms of sustainability reporting, in terms of the assurance providers and enablers, and in terms of being a bridge between the management as well as the assurance providers.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, time is short, I know. And now I'll go to Niz Mohammad Saab. You represent Bangladesh Council, so my question is, your sustainability reporting initiatives like sustainability reporting standards are there in Bangladesh. How ICAP is actually preparing its member for this implementation of ISSA 5000, especially considering that that we are talking about AI augmented assurance process.
Yeah, thank you very much for asking. First, we have to come to the context, then what are the challenges of Bangladesh are facing, and then I can provide you the answers. So the context is that Bangladesh economy is growing still, maybe a lesser speed, but we are growing. Most important thing is that Bangladesh Bank has adopted the IFRS S1 and S2, which is a good news as a regulator. And the council has also formed a committee for this, if I'm not wrong. These are the context. The challenges will be for Bangladesh is that, how do I put it, infrastructure gap and costs. As you know, Bangladesh economy is mostly driven by private entities, and of the private entities, there are SMEs. So the infrastructure and the cost effectiveness will be an important factor which will influence the outcome of the sustainability data. And on that, now I come to this is the most important constraints, because quality of data is important, and whether the SMEs or the other than the large corporate bodies are ready to capture the data and then come the question of certification and assurance service. So, in my opinion, Council should do more CPDs to educate their members. This is number one. The most important thing that is currently lacking is that we need to change our syllabus, which should be more AI-based, because from this seminar, we all know that AI will be the driving factor of the assurance service in future. So if we don't change the syllabus, which is more of an AI-based, I mean, it's difficult for, older generations or who have become a member to learn new things. This is going to be a very, very challenging thing for the Institute. If we don't change the syllabus, if we don't educate our students on AI-based assurance tools, AI-based sustainability tools, we are out of the market. So that's the one part. Second part, I think we should engage the regulators in identifying the risks, and we should engage the regulators like BSEC. As Central Bank did, we should engage with the BSEC and other regulators to identify the risk indicators sector-wise, and then they can formulate a formula and a guideline so that it will be much more easier for the assurance service provider to follow that guideline. This is a must for us. If we don't engage the regulators in a country like Bangladesh, nothing will go through. And now come the AI augmented assurance readiness. I mean, we need to prepare our members to interfere with the AI's generated report. So if you don't have the knowledge of the AI, and if you don't know how to interpret data, or if you don't know how AI is going to manipulate data or null data, you're not going to get a good quality report. So that's another point I would like to mention. Going forward, I think we should have a partnership with universities like BUET or whoever it is, so that we can have adequate knowledge of data, knowledge how to control the AI simulator and how to interpret the data AI generated. And lastly, I would like that the Institute should develop a sector-specific guidance note for you all know that our economy is mostly driven by garment sector. For example, textile, Mr. Sabir has rightly said, labor has sustainability code now. So if the Institute provides a guideline or guidance, that will be a way forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, we are running sort of. So basically now one single question to everybody. Considering the heading of our theme of this conference, Madam, I will start from you. Shortly, what if there's anything that you need to add on what you have said, considering the theme and the assurance of ISSA 5000.
So, like I said, I think this is a very good opportunity for all the SAFA countries to really work together and strengthen the adoption of especially assurance and ISA 5000, because it's not an easy one. So what I would recommend is Mr. Kabir to get his committee to immediately look at what each country is doing and to adopt the best practices, because we've done a couple of toolkits. We've done a publication of a preparer's guide for SLFRS 1 and 2, which we published. Then we also have a sustainability maturity assessment framework, which we put out. So maybe, I mean, you said you have an exam, right? So we can, I think this is, like I said, collective effort, otherwise we are going to lose the plot.
Farooq Sahab, same thing.
So I think the institutes of all the members of the SAFA, they have to play a role with the regulators that just like the IFRS S1 and S2 have been implemented in a phased manner, like in Bangladesh, it is started from banks only and also with a bigger bank and then coming down to. So same goes for the assurance as well. We need to play our role and adopt the assurance in a phased manner as well. So like in Pakistan, what we have recommended and has been accepted by our regulator is to implement the assurance in phased manner. Like in year 1 of reporting, there is no assurance. In the next 2 years, it is only going to be limited assurance, and then the market will be assessed for coming to the reasonable assurance. So my concluding or as summary remark is to adopt ISSA 5000 in a phased manner.
Thank you, Farooq Saab. Now, I'll ask this same question to you as well. Considering the theme of this conference and assurance that we are talking about that you presented, is there anything that you want to relate or say something briefly?
Yes, I think I will quote a small line from Neil Armstrong when he landed in moon. He said something like, it's a small step of pain and a giant step for the mankind. So similar thing what Anuji ma'am and Farooq bhai and other Niyaz bhai, others has mentioned, Mustafa bhai, we need to go step by step in a staggering fashion. We cannot be claimed as becoming adult overnight. So it's a gradual process, and that's why technical session 3, the theme is framework to outcome. So it's a journey. Starting from top and then gradually. One thing we need to appreciate, data availability, very, very important. You know, especially if you look at the S1, S2, level 1 disclosure, level 2, level 3, it's especially in our part of the world, it's actually globally. SMEs contribute more than 80% of the economy and the workforce all over the world. Even European Union has more than 82% of the SMEs. So for SMEs, it is a challenging task even to get full automation of the financial record. So for sustainability related information, it requires time. And very important thing, the cost. You know, everything has a cost. So it needs to have the cost effective mechanism. So I think it's very important that in a forum like this, we brainstorm, we talk with that, and Niyaz bhai, what he mentioned about the regulators, we need to get regulators involved as well. I think Saif bhai from your institute mentioned the expectation gap in the previous session. People have undue expectation, and that's not right. Just taking this opportunity, I want to bring the attention of respected IFAC president. You know, there is criticism, and constructive criticism is always welcome. But disproportionate criticism will be a big impediment to attract talent in our profession. All over the world, I'm sure France is no exception, US no exception. Everywhere we have a real challenge to attract talent. And now if always we put under undue criticism or disproportionate criticism, it will be a barrier to attract the talented students in our profession. I'm sure all SAFA countries facing the same challenges. So we have to take a holistic approach and go step by step.
Thank you. Thank you. Qazi Saab, you have something to add on this theme here?
Yes, while agreeing to all my worthy members who have enough spoke on it, I believe that at this stage there should be conversation among the regulators and the professional accountants for how smoothly does this transition period be accomplished, so that the knowledge is fully transferred among all the stakeholders, including the accountants, the students, as well as the corporate entities. And it should not be taken only as a compliance, but as a solid measure towards the sustainable development, performance, and the results should be measurable, they should be achievable, and the phase-wise implementation is very important in this regard. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Your turn. Yeah, okay. So thank you all my learned panelists for exciting our brains. Basically, we are just started to actually discuss about assurance. Even if you go to IFAC website, Knowledge Gateway, there are so many videos, that you can always refer to. All the videos are small, just like what Pakistan is doing. And then there are small videos, and then you can learn a lot of things. I would conclude by saying that wrapping everything, we need to go gradually. We need to, all of us need to think that we need to be competent, because not earlier our competition, when we were talking about IFRS, where competition was against among ourselves. Now we are competing with somebody else, and their mindset, their capability may be different and more than us. So we need to compete with them as well. Since the word is assurance, we'd like to somehow take it in our purview. It's not 100%, but that should be our goal. So we'll work for it. And sustainability, this part of the world or around the world, we are talking about sustainability because this is very vital. As all of you know, we are talking about the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the soil that is actually allowing us to feed our stomach. So this is vital for our survival. So the discussions that we were doing actually are discussing about the survival of humankind. So this is very important, and we should continue doing it. Next time when we get the opportunity, we'll do it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, ICAB, for inviting us, all the SAFA members. I represent SAFA board. And then to Zon and all you to hear us. Aspectola Saab is not here anymore, not here in the hall. Thank you. I conclude.
Thank you so much. I again request IFAC President, SAFA President, ICAB President, and Conference Chair to be on stage for the crest giving. It was a good show. Yes, the first recipient is Mr. Praveen Kumar Jha, Vice President, SAFA. Next one goes to Mr. Shabbir Ahmed, FCA, Council Member, ICAB. Mr. Shabbir Ahmed, FCA, the keynote presenter. Big round of applause for him. Next one is to Mr. Farooq Rahman, Immediate Past President, ICAP, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. And the next one to Ms. Anoji De Silva, Vice President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. Big round of applause for the Lady Vice President. Next one to Mr. Ghulam Mustafa Qazi, FCMA, Immediate Past President, Institute of Coastal Management Accountants of Pakistan. Big round of applause for him too. And Mr. Niaz Muhammad, FCA, Council Member, ICAB. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going for a break for 10 minutes. Quick, this time please make it 10 minutes because we are already running out of time. Far more away from time actually. আপনারা যারা বিশেষ করে মাগরিব নামাজ পড়বেন বাইরে অ্যারেঞ্জমেন্ট আছে